Hello! Now we're going to be doing Lesson 5 today. Lesson 5 in Module 2. Make sure you put your name and the date at the top of the page, and we'll get back to this in just a few minutes. Make sure you've got that out of your binder and ready to go for today. All right, so we're going to do a couple of warm-up activities. If I were to tell you that I had 6 tens 4. Would you know what 6 tens 4 is? This should be a big review to you. I should hear that would be what? Did you say 64? Congratulations if you did. 6 tens 4 would be 64. How about 8 tens 2? On the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Did you say 82? If you did, congratulations. Let's try another one. Let's do 9 tens. Oops, I left my S off of that tens. 9 tens 5. On the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Did you say 95? If you said 95, congratulations. I think we're getting really good at writing numbers the 10 way. Let's try a couple of more. Let's try 9 tens 9. 9 tens 9. What would that be? 1, 2, and 3. Did you say 99? If you did, congratulations. That's exactly correct. What if I said 10 tens? Boy, this is what we did last week. 10 tens 4. Would you know what that one was? If I had 10 tens and 4 ones, what would that be? 10 tens 4. Did you say on the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3? Did you say this? 104. You would be exactly correct. Let's try a couple more. Do you remember how we did those before? Let's do 13 tens 5. 13 tens 5. On the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. I hope you said this. Did you say that? If you did, congratulations. Let's try another one. Let's do 15 tens. 15 tens 7. 15 tens 7. Think about it. On the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Did you say 157? 15 tens and 7 ones. 15 tens and 7 ones. Okay, one more of these and then we're going to move on. What if I said 10 tens 9? What would 10 tens 9 be? On the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. I hope you said that would be 109. If you did, congratulations. All right, so we're going to continue, and this time we're going to be doing something we have not done before. This is going to be taking 2 tens from each number. So if I said 5 tens, let's start with 5 tens. Would you know what 5 tens was? I think you know what 5 tens is. Do you? 5 tens would be 50, yes? Well, what I want you to do is we're going to take 2 tens and break this apart into 2 tens plus something would give me 50. What would I have to add to those 2 tens that I just took out of this 50 in order to end up with 50 again? I'd be making a little number bond with that 50. If you said 30, congratulations, you would be exactly right. If I took out 20, that would leave me 30 that I would need to have to get to 50. All right, we're going to keep on taking 2 tens. This time we're going to do 70. Okay, so we're going to do 70. We're going to break it apart. How much are we going to take apart? We're going to take 2 tens. Can you tell me what the other part of that would have to be? If you said that that would have to be 50, 50, 60, 70, there's your number bond. I took out 2 tens. That left me with 5 tens. So that would be 20 plus 50 equals 70. So what are we doing? We're taking 2 tens. Can we try another one? Let's do 30. Okay, 30. Break it into a number bond. Take 20. What would that give me on the other side of my number bond? On the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Did you say 10? Well, if you did, you're exactly right. What would that equation look like? 20 plus 30. Whoops, not 20 plus 30. That wouldn't work. 20 plus 10. Oh, my star, get yourself together. 20 plus 10 would give me 30. 20 plus 10 would give me 30. Let's try another take two tens. Let's do 90 this time. So if I broke this apart and I took two tens, what would the other side of my number bond have to be? Well, let's see. 20 plus something would give me 90. What would I have to add to 90 or 20 to get 90? Did you say that this side should be 70? That's because 2 plus 7 is 90. Therefore, 20 plus 70 would be 90. Are you seeing this take two strategy? All right, let's try another one. Let's do 80. What are we going to take? We're going to take 2, or take two tens, which would be 20. How many tens would it take to get the rest of the number bond completed? What would I have to add to 20 to get 80? If you said 60, you're exactly right. 60, 70, 80. So that would be 60 plus 20 gives me, did you say 80? I hope that you did. All right, so that's taking two tens. Two tens would be equal to 20, and you can make a simple number bond with that. All right, let's continue on with something that we have worked on before. I have Tristan, who has 50 playing cards. 50 playing cards, and he gave 8 of those cards away to someone else. So he has 8 fewer now than he had when he started with 50. How many cards does Tristan have now? So I'm trying to figure out how many cards, if he started off with 50, gave 8 away, which gives him 8 fewer than 50. How can I figure that out? Now, remember when we're doing this kind of a problem, we're trying to make problems that are simple using tens. So what I think I would like to see us do is take out a group of 10. If I took out a group of 10, that would leave me in my number bond with 40 over this way. Now I can take that group of 10 and use that to subtract that 8, because 10 take away 8 is a simple problem, which gives me 2. We know that 10 take away 8 is 2. What do I still have left that I need to work with? I still need to work with 40. How much did I have left when I subtracted? I had 2. If I add 40 and 2 together, I get 42. So how many cards does Tristan have when he gets finished? And you should write that out in a sentence. Tristan has 42 cards left. All right, so this is very similar to some problems that we did not too long ago. All right, we're going to try another one or two of those. Let's say that we had 60, and the same thing with Tristan and the cards, and he has 8. Well, we just did 8. Let's do 6 fewer cards. So Tristan started off with 60 cards. He has 6. He gives 6 of them away, so we're going to be 6 less than 60. Let's break this apart. I'm going to give you a chance to try that without me. I'll give you a hint. You need to have one of these numbers be a 10, because 10 is very easy to subtract from. So that would leave me with 50. Did you end up with 50? Now it's easy to subtract this. 10 take away 6 equals 4. Added to the 50 that I still have gives me a total of 54. So if you said Tristan now has 54 cards left, you are exactly correct. All right, you could try a few more of those on your own. All right, so now we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about what happens when you are just estimating what you think something might measure. So I'm going to write the word estimate down. When you estimate, you are taking your best, oh brother, Miss Star, you can do this. I can handle this, I really can. Estimate. When you estimate something, you're taking a really good, and I'm going to use the word guess. When you're estimating, you're taking a good guess, but usually that good guess is based on something that you already have a pretty good idea about. We're going to be talking about two things to use for estimation today. One is going to be your pinky finger, and I want you to look at that pinky finger, and I want you to think about, my pinky finger is probably going to be a little bit wider than your pinky finger. And when I'm using a marker, it doesn't exactly show up as good. But can you see that my pinky finger fits right in between those two little marks? That is about what? That much space for my pinky finger is about, and when I'm estimating, I usually use the word about, would be about 1 centimeter. Okay, I'm just going to check that. And you can too. If you have one of those little centimeter cubes, is that about 1 centimeter, my pinky finger? That's going to be what I'm going to use as my my estimate. It's not exactly, but I can get a pretty good idea about how big something is by using some type of an object that's familiar to me, like my pinky finger. My pinky finger from side to side measures about 1 centimeter. You're going to need to remember that about your pinky finger. That your pinky finger probably also measures about 1 centimeter. And you can use that to help you measure things without using your ruler. So some of the time today we're going to be using the ruler, and some of the time today we're not. So this could be your benchmark. So my benchmark is about my pinky finger being about 1 centimeter. Okay, so that's one I want you to keep in mind. Pinky finger about 1 centimeter. Now, if you have a pencil at your home that is not sharpened, about how many centimeters would you say that that unsharpened pencil would be? I don't want you to actually measure it, but maybe we could take kind of an estimate using the pinky finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, but I want it to be really easy. It's about 19, but I'm going to say that my pencil that's unsharpened is about, and is this an exact measurement? No, because I'm using the word about, is about 20 centimeters. And the reason I said 20 is because 19 is a hard number to work with, but if I can do about 20, that makes it really easy for me to estimate about what something would be. Now, just for giggles, I'm actually going to measure this pencil. Let's just see how close that came. So here is my centimeter ruler. Can you see that that pencil is really about, let's move this over just a titch. It's just a little bit bigger than 19 centimeters, so I think having 20 as a good estimate for an unsharpened pencil is a good idea. So sometimes we use objects to help us be able to estimate, especially if we don't have a ruler. Like maybe if you're going to the store and you need maybe 30 centimeters of some yarn or some string, could you use your pinky finger to help you figure out about how many centimeters that would be? So sometimes we use other objects like a piece of paper, or in this case a pencil or a cube, or our pinky finger to help us estimate about how long something might be. So today's lesson, we're going to be spending time talking about estimating what the length of something might be. And remember, it's just a guess, but it's a guess that's based on something that's pretty darn close. So it's more of an educated guess, one that you're not just pulling a number out of the air, but having a benchmark to be able to help guide your decision. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at our very first exercise today. So we're going to, there's that word, we are going to estimate, which means we're going to take a really good guess based on what we know. We're going to take a really good guess based at the length of each line in centimeters using mental benchmarks. So our mental benchmark for centimeters for these particular ones was my pinky finger, because I think if I use this pencil, probably be a little bit too long, don't you think? That pencil is quite a bit longer than that. So I think I'm going to use my pinky finger, and you are going to too. So I'm going to mark my estimates with my pinky finger, and you can do that too. And yours might be a little bit different than mine, then that's okay. So I'm just getting an estimate about how long I think that line is. So I'm going to count. Here's where I started. Here's where I ended. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am thinking that this is about 6 centimeters. Okay, I'm just taking a little estimate because I don't know for sure. Once I have figured that part out, then I need to measure and see. Oh my gosh, look at that. That was pretty darn close, Miss Star. Wowee woo, I would have never guessed that I could get it that close. The actual measurement was 6 centimeters. So you are going to continue. Well, let's see. I think, yeah, you're going to continue. You're going to do problem number 2. I wonder if problem number 2 would work better with the pencil. Remember, this pencil was about how many centimeters? Did we say it was about 20? So we know whatever our estimate is going to be, it's going to be less than 20. And maybe I could use my pinky finger to help me too. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Maybe 4. Pinky finger 1, pinky finger 2, pinky finger. Okay, so that would be 20, take away 4. So I'm thinking that my estimate is going to be about 16 centimeters. That's my estimate using my benchmark of my pencil, that's about 20 centimeters, and my pinky finger. Once you have that, then you're going to find out the actual measure. I'm going to give myself a beginning point and an end point as I find out the actual measure. Oh my goodness, look at that. I was pretty close. It is actual length is about 15 centimeters. Wow, I would be giving myself such a big smiley face because I'm actually doing pretty good at estimating. So now, my friends, you are going to do problem 3, 4, and 5. You're going to do an estimate with your pinky finger or perhaps the pencil that I gave that you have. Hopefully you have an unsharpened pencil at your house. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you because I don't have one for you. So, I mean, I do if you came to school and get one, but you need one right now. So go see if you can't find one. You're going to do problems 3, 4, and 5, and then pause the video so you can do those 3 problems, and then we'll come back and look at them together. So pause the video. Okay, are you back? Okay, here we go. We're going to find out what you guys said for your estimate for problem number 3. So I'm thinking that this, how long is that? Is it about half? Here it's just a little tiny bit more than half, and I know that this is 20. So I'm going to say that I think that this is about, half would be 10. I think it's a little bit more than 10. I'm going to say that it's about, is my estimate, about 11. Okay, that was my estimate. Your estimate might be different than mine. That's okay, it might be, but I'm going to see what the actual measure is now. Let's measure and see what it actually is. Hopefully you've already, oh, look at that. Miss Star, you are doing a really good job of estimating using my pencil and my pinky finger, because I know this is about 20 and my pinky finger is helping me as well. So what is your estimate about this line? Well, I can just tell you right now that this pencil probably isn't going to be very helpful because it's not quite long enough. It's quite a bit shorter and even shorter than half. So I'm going to use my pinky finger again. Okay, your estimates might be a little different than mine, and that's okay because we're just taking our best guess based on our benchmark. Okay, so here's my end point, here's my beginning point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to say that this is about 7 centimeters. About. Now I'm actually going to measure it and see what it measures. Oh my gosh, look at that. Holy Toledo. Man, I'm getting better at estimating all the time. Now this one is definitely shorter than this one, but I'm still going to use that pinky finger. Let's see if I can figure out about how many centimeters long this is. And there's my end point, there's my beginning point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to say about 5 centimeters. All right, then I have to actually measure it. Whoa, I'm falling over. I had no idea I was going to be that good at measuring those estimates. And if you want, you can erase and try it again and see if you can get a little bit better at your estimates. All right, let's come over to page 6. So we're going to circle the unit of measure for each length estimate. All right, so we have either centimeters or meters is what we're going to choose from. The height of a door is about, would that be reasonable to be about 2 centimeters or about 2 meters tall? So what benchmark did you use as your estimate? Well, think about what a centimeter looks like. It's about the size of your finger compared to the meter stick that we were using yesterday. Remember that meter stick? I know I'm kind of sad that some of my at-home students don't have access to a meter stick. But remember that meter stick? I'm running it through my fingers. That meter stick is about, well, it is not about, it is 100 centimeters long. So it's pretty tall compared to your pinky finger. So would it be reasonable that the height of your door would be 2 of these, or would it be more reasonable that it would be 2 of our meter sticks? Because remember, a meter stick is 100 centimeters. All right, so you're going to make that decision, and you're going to do that all the way down to letter E. So you're going to shut the video off for just a minute. You're going to try 6, coming all the way down to letter E, and deciding whether you're picking centimeters or meters based on what you know about a centimeter and what you know about, here's my meter stick, 1 centimeter, woo, 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 really fast all the way up to 100 centimeters. I did have somebody ask me about what to do if they didn't have a meter stick, and I wish I had enough to invite you to come in and take one of mine, but I really don't. So it is possible that you could find one online that you could print off and then make it. I have done that before, but I just haven't had time to find one for you, so you're going to have to do that yourself. Because Ms. Starr is very busy teaching not only face-to-face students, but also my distance learning students that I do after school. So I've been working long and hard today. And I need you, if you don't have a meter stick, to maybe find one online, because I just haven't had time to do that for you. Okay, shut the video off, and then we'll come back and take a look at this in just a minute. Turn the video off. Are you back? Okay, the height of a door is about, if you said 2 centimeters, is that even reasonable that a door would only be that tall? 2 centimeters? That's not even reasonable. I hope you said that it would be meters. And what was the benchmark did you use? I used a meter stick, because that is helping me to decide whether or not a door would be about 2 meters tall. What about the length of a pen? So a length of a pen, well, would that be 10 centimeters or 10 meters? Well, I'm hoping that you're thinking as you're looking at your ruler that it would be about 10 centimeters. It would not be reasonable at all for you to think that it would be 10 meters, because that would be much taller even than your ceiling. So I hope you said that that would be about 10 centimeters, and maybe you used your little finger to help you with that one, your pinky finger. Yep, that's a possibility. How about the length of a car? Would it be 4 centimeters or 4 meters? Well, I hope you said meters, because a car is pretty long. And again, I just have to use my meter stick. Or, you know, another thing that you can use as a benchmark that I should have mentioned is a large step. If you take one large giant step, you are going to be about a meter. So you could actually go out and measure your car by taking giant steps next to your car, and you'd probably get around 4 or 5 meters depending on what kind of a car you have. What about the length of your bed? Is it reasonable that it would be 2 centimeters? I don't think so. It would have to be a bed for maybe an ant or some small insect, but definitely not for you. I hope you said that it would be a meter stick. And perhaps you said you took large steps to measure that out, which is a possibility too. All right, and how about the length of your dinner plate? Did you say it would be about 20 centimeters or about 20 meters? Wow, if you said 20 meters, you must have been thinking about something very tall, like two of your houses stacked on top of each other would be about 20 meters. So centimeters would be what we want. And I would probably use a meter stick to help me with that, just to give me a good idea about how far that was going to be. Now, you'll remember us talking about this unsharpened pencil. You're going to use this unsharpened pencil to help you with the next set of problems. Use an unsharpened pencil to measure 3 things that you have in your desk. So you're supposed to use this unsharpened pencil to measure 3 things that you have at your desk. Now your desk might be a little bit different than my desk because I don't know what your desk looks like at your house, but you could do this with your finger to find out about how long is your finger using this. Could you maybe figure out about how long your finger is compared to this pencil that's about 20 centimeters? Maybe you have a pencil box at your house and you could figure out about how long your pencil box is, and I'm going to let you choose what you'd like to measure for letter C. So shut the video off and we'll come back and take a look at these in just a minute. Are you back? Okay, what did you decide about your finger? Well, my finger is not quite halfway. And this is 20. So what if this was if I had 3, I'm going to say that that finger would probably be about 5 or 6 centimeters long. 5 or 6 centimeters long. I'm just going to measure my finger just to see how close I came. I was a little bit off this time. My finger is about 8, but that's still not a bad estimate. What about your pencil box? Did you figure out about how much your pencil box was? My pencil box was about 25 centimeters. And whatever it is that you decided about this third one, you can make that decision on your own. All right, so let's go ahead and go over to the next page. And this time we're going to be looking at 5 things in your home that you would measure in meters. And you are going to estimate, this is the important part, you are going to estimate their length. And I would probably do this by taking big steps. So I want you to think in terms of taking big steps as you measure things like your bed. This one would be a little bit hard to do big steps, but I want you to think about your door, your front door or your back door. What about your fridge? Your refrigerator? And is there a window in your house that you could measure? And how about your bike? That would be interesting to go outside and measure about how many meters long your bike is. So this one you could use big steps. Maybe this one you could measure by how tall you are. Maybe you could use yourself as your benchmark. You could probably use yourself as a benchmark with your fridge and maybe your window. And I'd probably use myself with a window. And this one you could use big steps. All right, so shut the video off and go and try doing an estimate with big steps for your bed. Thinking about how tall you are. You're probably about 1.5 meters, depending on whether you're a tall or short second grader. Your fridge, you could measure using yourself. Your window, well, you might have to just take an estimate using just maybe how long you think 1 meter is and just hold your hands up. And of course, with your bike, you could definitely go out and do some big steps. So go ahead and shut your video off or pause it for a minute and go try these. Okay, are you back? Well, each one of our estimates is probably going to be a little bit different, but I would say probably on your bed it's going to be about 2 meters. About, maybe a little less. Door, if you've ever measured a door, they're pretty close to about 2 meters. My refrigerator, well, my refrigerator is a little bit shorter than my door, so I don't know, maybe 1.5 meters. That's an estimate. I'm not for sure. I have a window at my house which is pretty big, and that would be 4 meters. It's a pretty big window. It covers the whole front of my house. So I don't know what yours would be. And my bike is about 2 meters. Your bike might be a little bit shorter than mine. Okay, so some good estimates there. Now you're going to choose the best length for each object. So you need to think of your whiteboard at school. Is it more reasonable that your whiteboard would be 3 meters or 45 centimeters? A banana, 14 centimeters or 30 centimeters. A DVD, you know that little DVD thing that comes in that little box like this that has your movies in it? If you measured that, would that be about 25 centimeters or 17 centimeters? A pen and a swimming pool. So you're going to shut the video off and then come back and we'll take a look and see how you did. Shut the video off or pause it. Okay, are you back? So let's think about this for just a second. If you had a whiteboard that your teacher wrote on, is it reasonable? Here's 30 centimeters right here. This is my meter stick. 45 would probably be, maybe about this much more. Would that be the size of your teacher's whiteboard? I hope you didn't think that would be. That would not be at all reasonable for it to be only 45 centimeters. That's not very big for a whiteboard for everybody in the class to see. So if you are thinking in terms of a banana, would a banana be about 14 centimeters? Here's 14 centimeters compared to 30 centimeters, which would be my whole meter stick. Is it more reasonable that a banana would be about 14? I hope you said that it would be about 14. And your little DVD holder, would that be 25 centimeters or about 17 centimeters? Here's 25 right here, from here to, I'm going to move this up just a little bit. 25 would be from there to there. Boy, I don't think I've ever seen a DVD or even a VHS that was that big. So I hope that you didn't say about 25. That would not be reasonable, but more like about 17, and even that seems big to me. I would say more like maybe about 12. But they didn't make that as an option, so I'm going to have to choose the one that I think is closest to about 17. A pen, 16 centimeters, or is it reasonable that it would be one of these really long ones? It's 100 centimeters. Well, that's not reasonable at all. Not even close to being reasonable. So I would never say this, but I definitely would say that. And a swimming pool? Well, if you had a swimming pool that was 150 centimeters, wow, that's not very big. That's not even as tall as, some of you might be 150 centimeters, but I don't know, that's not very big. So 50 meters would be a much better estimate for how big a swimming pool would be. All right, so now we're going to continue on with the estimate using the width of your pinky finger, which is, remember, about 1 centimeter. I'm going to draw that on here again. This is, my fingers are bigger than yours. Your pinky finger is about 1 centimeter. So based on that, measure the length of these lines using your pinky finger, and then you're going to write an estimate about how many pinky fingers or how many centimeters long would be line A, line B, line C, D, and E. Shut the video off and go ahead and measure. Okay, are you back? Well, I'm back, and we're going to see about how many centimeters you thought this might be. So here's one that Miss Star did. So I took my pinky finger and I measured from my beginning end to my end piece, and I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, about 6. I'm going to change my estimate to about 6 on that line. All right, what did you think about this one from beginning to end? I hope you said about 1 centimeter. Here is this line. Here's my beginning point. Here's my end point. And let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, I think I better change my estimate there to about 13. All right, and what about this guy over here? I wonder if maybe I wasn't counting that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, that's what I wrote down for that one. I wonder what you got on yours. I hope you were somewhat close. And what about this one, this last line? 1, 2, 3. Boy, that's not even close. I think I'm going to change that to about 3. All right? Okay, well, I don't know. You could have had 4 and still been fairly close. Okie dokie. So now we are going to come over to our exit ticket. So let's take a look at our exit ticket, and please remember that you need to be sending your exit ticket to your teacher. Always be certain that your name is on it and the date that you did it. Today, well, whatever day you're doing it would probably be different than the day I'm actually videotaping this. So you're going to circle the most reasonable estimate for each object. So we're going to be talking, and some of these things you might not be totally and completely familiar with. So I'm going to get you an example. So it says, what is the length of a push pin? These are those little tacks that your teacher uses at school to put things on a bulletin board. So do you think a push pin, here it is right here, ow, that's kind of pokey. Is that push pin about 1 centimeter or is it about 1 meter? You're going to make that decision. The length of the classroom door. Well, I'm going to tell you that you are thinking in terms of 100 centimeters or 2 meters. If you think about something that we did earlier on in this lesson, that will make that one a lot easier for you. And how about the length of a pair of student scissors? Here's a pair of student scissors right there, some of my lefty scissors. So would a pair of student scissors be 17 centimeters or about 42 centimeters? That's going to be a decision that you'll have to make based on what you think. And the estimate the length of your desk. Remember, the width of your pinky finger is about 1 centimeter. Well, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to change this because I think it would be better to use this pencil. It would be easier for me to measure knowing that this pencil is about 20 centimeters. So I'm going to say the unsharpened pencil is going to be my benchmark for this. If you want to use a pinky finger, go ahead, but I would use an unsharpened pencil because it's just less counting for me. Alrighty, so whatever desk you're working on at home, you're going to have to use your unsharpened pencil to make an estimate. Okay, and then you need to answer this question by writing out a sentence describing how does knowing that an unsharpened pencil, which is about 20 centimeters long, help you estimate the length of your arm from elbow to wrist? How could you use that unsharpened pencil to help you measure from your arm to your wrist, and about how much do you get when you do measure that? Please remember that your exit ticket, you need to send it to your teacher. It's very important that we get these every day because Miss Starr won't be able to know what kind of a grade to give you if I don't see what your exit tickets every day. These are very important, and without them, then I don't have a lot to go on because so much of this has to be done at home with mom or dad or whoever is helping you. So make sure that you get that sent to your teacher. And with that, I will say goodbye.